Employee did not classify it correctly. Employee did not classify it correctly. Employee did not classify it correctly. The measurement system accuracy is not good enough. The measurement system accuracy is not good enough. The measurement system accuracy is not good enough. It is used to judge whether the product is acceptable or not. It is used to judge whether the product is acceptable or not. It is used to judge whether the product is acceptable or not. Supplier recommendations should be considered. Supplier recommendations should be considered. Supplier recommendations should be considered. Equipment must have stamps, labels, or certificates. Equipment must have stamps, labels, or certificates. Equipment must have stamps, labels, or certificates. The first reported timing was February 11, 2026, after the customer had driven the vehicle for 583 kilometers. The first reported timing was February 11, after the customer had driven the vehicle for 583 kilometers. The first reported timing was February 11, after the customer had driven the vehicle for 583 kilometers. The exact root cause is still under investigation. The exact root cause is still under investigation. The exact root cause is still under investigation. The final root cause confirmation is still in progress with supplier support, and the permanent corrective action will be finalized after confirmation. The final root cause confirmation is still in progress with supplier support, and the permanent corrective action will be finalized after confirmation. The final root cause confirmation is still in progress with supplier support, and the permanent corrective action will be finalized after confirmation. The robustness of the components needs to be assessed. The robustness of the components needs to be assessed. The robustness of the components needs to be assessed.
I want this particular item to be implemented for the scooter. I want this particular item to be implemented for the scooter. I want this particular item to be implemented for the scooter. We can go over those numbers and the rest now. We can go over those numbers and the rest now. We can go over those numbers and the rest now. These subtasks will be created for engineering, and ownership will be assigned in the software. These subtasks will be created for engineering, and ownership will be assigned in the software. These subtasks will be created for engineering, and ownership will be assigned in the software. The respective engineer will have responsibility for responding to that subtask. The respective engineer will have responsibility for responding to that subtask. The respective engineer will have responsibility for responding to that subtask. I would say that even if we add 100 items or checkpoints here, we can still identify each of them. I would say that even if we add 100 items or checkpoints here, we can still identify each of them. I would say that even if we add 100 items or checkpoints here, we can still identify each of them. If the 50 items are there, how we will make sure that 50 items has been included? If the 50 items are there, how we will make sure that 50 items has been included? If the 50 items are there, how we will make sure that 50 items has been included? I need this so these subtasks should be there for the one ticket. I need this so these subtasks should be there for the one ticket. I need this so these subtasks should be there for the one ticket. Not even ISO. And nobody is doing this. Not even ISO. And nobody is doing this. Not even ISO. And nobody is doing this. The activities taking place after the document is created are not effective. The activities taking place after the document is created are not effective. The activities taking place after the document is created are not effective.
I need to submit these two topics for leadership approval. I need to submit these two topics for leadership approval. I need to submit these two topics for leadership approval. They're checking now, but they have not found any not okay vehicles in the plant yet. They're checking now, but they have not found any not okay vehicles in the plant yet. They're checking now, but they have not found any not okay vehicles in the plant yet. Out of these 600 or 700 vehicles, did they find any defective vehicles in the yard? Out of these 600 or 700 vehicles, did they find any defective vehicles in the yard? Out of these 600 or 700 vehicles, Did they find any defective vehicles in the yard? We need to understand whether this will impact all of our vehicles or not. We need to understand whether this will impact all of our vehicles or not. We need to understand whether this will impact all of our vehicles or not. We already scheduled meeting in advance, so we will go ahead with it. We already scheduled meeting in advance, so we will go ahead with it. We already scheduled meeting in advance, so we will go ahead with it. I saw that this issue was mainly reported on the VF7. This has to be painted, right? I saw that this issue was mainly reported on the VF7. This has to be painted, right? I saw that this issue was mainly reported on the VF7. This has to be painted, right? This seems to require repair. We need to repair this particular case, and the repair will not be easy. This seems to require repair. We need to repair this particular case, and the repair will not be easy. This seems to require repair. We need to repair this particular case, and the repair will not be easy. This is the black tape applied here, right? This is the black tape applied here, right? This is the black tape applied here, right? The coolant level in the tank is below the minimum level. The coolant level in the tank is below the minimum level. The coolant level in the tank is below the minimum level.
We are adding it to almost every item in the checklist. We are adding it to almost every item in the checklist. We are adding it to almost every item in the checklist. They may exclude some items and keep only certain functions. They may exclude some items and keep only certain functions. They may exclude some items and keep only certain functions. What is QA responsible for inspecting? What is QA responsible for inspecting? What is QA responsible for inspecting? This complete vehicle inspection standard should include only the operations carried out on the vehicle during manufacturing and assembly. This complete vehicle inspection standard should include only the operations carried out on the vehicle during manufacturing and assembly. This complete vehicle inspection standard should include only the operations carried out on the vehicle during manufacturing and assembly. There will be some items selected out of the 1,000 items. There will be some items selected out of the 1,000 items. There will be some items selected out of the 1,000 items. When I create a standard, which items must be included for manufacturing, and where is the boundary line? When I create a standard, which items must be included for manufacturing, and where is the boundary line? When I create a standard, which items must be included for manufacturing, and where is the boundary line? I'm not too concerned about this particular point. I'm not too concerned about this particular point. I'm not too concerned about this particular point. I have already scheduled the review meeting. We can book the chassis room so that we can all gather there and review the 8D together. I have already scheduled the review meeting. We can book the chassis room so that we can all gather there and review the 8D together. I have already scheduled the review meeting. We can book the chassis room so that we can all gather there and review the 8D together.
People are not checking in depth what exactly has been updated in the document. People are not checking in depth what exactly has been updated in the document. People are not checking in depth what exactly has been updated in the document. How are we going to make sure that all of our engineers have included these items in the CDS? How are we going to make sure that all of our engineers have included these items in the CDS? How are we going to make sure that all of our engineers have included these items in the CDS? What we are aligned on now is that we need to get a clear understanding. What we are aligned on now is that we need to get a clear understanding. What we are aligned on now is that we need to get a clear understanding. The CDS should only consider manufacturing-related items. Supplier-related items should be directly owned by supplier SQ, and they need to implement them on their side. The CDS should only consider manufacturing-related items. Supplier-related items should be directly owned by supplier SQ, and they need to implement them on their side. The CDS should only consider manufacturing-related items. Supplier-related items should be directly owned by supplier SQ, and they need to implement them on their side. So, either the CDS will also include supplier-related items. Either the CDS will also include supplier-related items. Whoever is the most knowledgeable expert in homologation. I want to have a meeting with that person. Whoever is the most knowledgeable expert in homologation. I want to have a meeting with that person. Whoever is the most knowledgeable expert in homologation. I want to have a meeting with that person. We need to ensure there is clear alignment so that it can be submitted to ISO and communicated to everyone involved. We need to ensure there is clear alignment so that it can be submitted to ISO and communicated to everyone involved.
It is one of the activities already covered in the regular audit, so the standard is uploaded to Team Center as a sub-attachment. It is one of the activities already covered in the regular audit, so the standard is uploaded to Team Center as a sub-attachment. It is one of the activities already covered in the regular audit, so the standard is uploaded to Team Center as a sub-attachment. So, in the same way, we can have a separate standard for the scooter. So, in the same way, we can have a separate standard for the scooter. So, in the same way, we can have a separate standard for the scooter. I don't want to keep this for too long. Within 1 or 2 weeks, this has to be closed. I don't want to keep this for too long. Within 1 or 2 weeks, this has to be closed. I don't want to keep this for too long. Within 1 or 2 weeks, this has to be closed. Tuan on, you can also set up a follow-up meeting for that item. Tuan on, you can also set up a follow-up meeting for that item. Tuan on, you can also set up a follow-up meeting for that item. Young, you need to set up a review within our team on how we are reflecting those tickets for the global plans. Young, you need to set up a review within our team on how we are reflecting those tickets for the global plans. Young, you need to set up a review within our team on how we are reflecting those tickets for the global plans. Now we need to increase the review frequency for this particular lesson. Now we need to increase the review frequency for this particular lesson. Now we need to increase the review frequency for this particular lesson. You know, it belongs to the category of high-severity items. You know, it belongs to the category of high-severity items. You know, it belongs to the category of high-severity items. We need to understand the guideline for creating tickets. We need to understand the guideline for creating tickets. We need to understand the guideline for creating tickets.
The battery voltage drops overnight. The battery voltage drops overnight. The battery voltage drops overnight. The battery terminals are corroded. The battery terminals are corroded. The battery terminals are corroded. The vehicle ground connection is poor. The vehicle ground connection is poor. The vehicle ground connection is poor. The charging system is not working properly. The charging system is not working properly. The charging system is not working properly. The wiring harness is rubbing against the body. The wiring harness is rubbing against the body. The wiring harness is rubbing against the body. The vehicle shows a low voltage warning. The vehicle shows a low voltage warning. The vehicle shows a low voltage warning. Vibration may cause an intermittent electrical connection. Vibration may cause an intermittent electrical connection. Vibration may cause an intermittent electrical connection. Please check the fuse and relay condition. Please check the fuse and relay condition. Please check the fuse and relay condition. We need final confirmation before closure. We need final confirmation before closure. We need final confirmation before closure. Without closure, people will not start working on this. Without closure, people will not start working on this. Without closure, people will not start working on this. We need a clear and valid justification for why those points are missing. We need a clear and valid justification for why those points are missing. We need a clear and valid justification for why those points are missing. Can you make sure that by the end of today this file is updated, so that tomorrow we can clearly see the progress? Can you make sure that by the end of today this file is updated, so that tomorrow we can clearly see the progress? Can you make sure that by the end of today this file is updated, so that tomorrow we can clearly see the progress?
What is the expected closure date? What is the expected closure date? What is the expected closure date? I already updated it yesterday, but this file is still showing 20%. I'm not sure why. I already updated it yesterday, but this file is still showing 20%. I'm not sure why. I already updated it yesterday, but this file is still showing 20%. I'm not sure why. We should not waste too much time on this. We should not waste too much time on this. We should not waste too much time on this. I request this to be included. I request this to be included. I request this to be included. We need to coordinate this between the plants. We need to coordinate this between the plants. We need to coordinate this between the plants. Whether we have any conclusions on these specific topics. Whether we have any conclusions on these specific topics. Whether we have any conclusions on these specific topics. There is nothing more. Let's close this meeting. There is nothing more. Let's close this meeting. There is nothing more. Let's close this meeting. This will help him get ready for the next assignments. This will help him get ready for the next assignments. This will help him get ready for the next assignments. The situation does not look favorable right now. The situation does not look favorable right now. The situation does not look favorable right now. At least, if PCA has not been developed yet, what ICA has been implemented. At least, if PCA has not been developed yet, what ICA has been implemented. At least, if PCA has not been developed yet, what ICA has been implemented. Engineering has also confirmed that these 9 tickets exist. Engineering has also confirmed that these 9 tickets exist. Engineering has also confirmed that these 9 tickets exist. Out of these 6 issues, 4 must be closed today. Out of these 6 issues, 4 must be closed today. Out of these 6 issues, 4 must be closed today. We are unable to hear you clearly. We are unable to hear you clearly.
Either the user ID or the password is invalid. Either the user ID or the password is invalid. Either the user ID or the password is invalid. When can you revert on this particular topic? When can you revert on this particular topic? When can you revert on this particular topic? I need to take it over and fix that area as well. I need to take it over and fix that area as well. I need to take it over and fix that area as well. Ben may also be involved. I mean, you and Ben can work on this together, as most of the items are related to interior-exterior. Ben may also be involved. I mean, you and Ben can work on this together, as most of the items are related to interior-exterior. Ben may also be involved. I mean, you and Ben can work on this together, as most of the items are related to interior-exterior. C. Some items are under interior-exterior, and chassis also has a few items. BIW also has 1 or 2 items related to VIN number punching. Some items are under interior-exterior, and chassis also has a few items. BIW also has 1 or 2 items related to VIN number punching. Some items are under interior-exterior, and chassis also has a few items. BIW also has 1 or 2 items related to VIN number punching. I want to have one clear owner for this topic, so Tony, I think you can drive it. I want to have one clear owner for this topic, so Tony, I think you can drive it. I want to have one clear owner for this topic, so Tony, I think you can drive it. Very specific standard for the scooter, but why didn't you include that in the content? Very specific standard for the scooter, but why didn't you include that in the content? Very specific standard for the scooter, but why didn't you include that in the content? That can be, like, an assessment of what we're doing and everything around it. That can be, like, an assessment of what we're doing and everything around it. That can be, like, an assessment of what we're doing and everything around it.
For the mechanical key fob consult issue, we have planned the PCA for May 1st, but their team is not accepting that PCA. For the mechanical key fob consult issue, we have planned the PCA for May 1st, but their team is not accepting that PCA. For the mechanical key fob consult issue, we have planned the PCA for May 1st, but their team is not accepting that PCA. Once we receive the data from the engineering team, we will move forward with this case. Once we receive the data from the engineering team, we will move forward with this case. Once we receive the data from the engineering team, we will move forward with this case. They are going to add one branch between the component and the wiring harness. They are going to add one branch between the component and the wiring harness. They are going to add one branch between the component and the wiring harness. We have the same condition in Haiphong, but the Haiphong team applies the grease better. We have the same condition in Haiphong, but the Haiphong team applies the grease better. We have the same condition in Haiphong, but the Haiphong team applies the grease better. Please make sure there is no issue, as Rohan and the relevant stakeholders have already raised concerns. Please make sure there is no issue, as Rohan and the relevant stakeholders have already raised concerns. Please make sure there is no issue, as Rohan and the relevant stakeholders have already raised concerns. The same action needs to be implemented for Indonesia as well. The same action needs to be implemented for Indonesia as well. The same action needs to be implemented for Indonesia as well. The calibration cycle depends on frequency of use, importance, stability history, and working environment. The calibration cycle depends on frequency of use, importance, stability history, and working environment. The calibration cycle depends on frequency of use, importance, stability history, and working environment.